The Chiefs letting go of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, their former first-round pick, has certainly caught a lot of people off guard.
It's definitely a move that raises some questions, especially considering the high expectations surrounding him when he entered the league.
Remember, he was drafted 32nd overall back in 2020.
And his debut performance really added fuel to the fire.
Rushing for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns, it looked like the Chiefs had found their answer at running back for the long haul.
You could say that. However, he wasn't able to consistently reach that same level.
He faced some challenges, particularly in the passing game.
There was a hope that he'd be a dual threat back, but it didn't quite materialize in the way many expected.
The emergence of Isaiah Pacheco definitely added another layer of complexity to the situation.
Absolutely. A 7th-round pick rising to a starting role is pretty remarkable.
It really speaks to Pacheco's talent and how quickly the depth chart can shift, especially at running back.
No doubt about it. The N.F.L. is a competitive environment where things can change rapidly.
And then we can't forget the return of Kareem Hunt to the picture.
It's almost like a full circle moment for him coming back to Kansas City.
His return, especially after Pacheco's injury, resulted in a very crowded backfield.
A lot of talent, all vying for a chance to shine.
The Chiefs also had to deal with a roster squeeze when Marquise Brown came back from injury.
They needed to free up a roster spot, and unfortunately for Edwards-Helaire, he ended up being the odd man out.
In your view, what were some of the key factors that prevented Edwards-Helaire from truly meeting those initial expectations?
Well, I think it's a multifaceted issue. He certainly had moments of brilliance, but his struggles with staying healthy definitely played a role.
Missing a significant portion of each season must have impacted his development.
You have to factor that in. Plus, the Chiefs' offensive scheme, which favors speed and those outside runs, might not have been the ideal match for his skill set.
His time in Kansas City had its highs and lows, but he's still quite young at 25. A change of scenery could be just what he needs.
Absolutely. There's still plenty of potential there, and a fresh start with a team that has a different approach on offense could really allow him to shine.
Any thoughts on potential landing spots? Any teams that come to mind as possible fits?
Well, the Detroit Lions have a need at running back, and their new coaching staff might be willing to give him a shot. Of course, you can never rule out other teams with needs at the position. The NFL landscape is always evolving, so you never know what opportunities might emerge.
It makes you wonder about the real impact of draft position.
It's an interesting point. While it can offer early opportunities, it's ultimately the player's ability to adapt and perform that determines their longevity in the league.
Edwards-Helaire's journey is a testament to that.
Absolutely. It's not always a straight path to success, and players have to constantly adjust to the challenges and seize the opportunities that come their way.
His time with the Chiefs might be over.
But that doesn't mean it's the end of his NFL story.
He's got time to prove himself and carve out a successful career. It'll be fascinating to see where he lands next and what he accomplishes in the future.
I agree. His journey is far from over. It was a real roller coaster ride for him with the Chiefs.
He never really seemed to find his footing health-wise.
Injuries were a constant issue. He missed quite a bit of time over those 4 seasons.
It was especially tough with the extended absence due to this year's N.F.L stint.
If you add in the playoffs, he missed a total of 24 games from 2020 to 2023.
That's a significant number of games.
It's hard to maintain momentum and consistency when you're in and out of the lineup like that.
You can't help but think that those absences impacted his development and prevented him from really hitting his stride.
It's a factor you can't ignore.
But even with all those setbacks, he did show flashes of brilliance when he was on the field.
Absolutely. He still finished his time with the Chiefs with 1,845 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns. Not too shabby.
And who can forget that remarkable debut performance? It really gave everyone a glimpse of his potential.
It was a moment that showcased his raw ability.
He's only 25 years old. There's still plenty of football left in him.
He has time to turn things around and have a successful career.
I remember the Chiefs actually re-signed him to a 1-year, $1.7 million deal back in April.
Right, and that was after they hosted J.K. Dobbins for a free agent visit.
It seemed like they were committed to giving him another opportunity to prove himself.
It did signal that they saw some value in keeping him around at least for one more season.
Now with his release, they're only taking a small financial hit, something less than $200,000 in dead money.
It's not a huge burden for them, considering the circumstances.
It does make you wonder if they might have approached this differently had they not brought him back earlier in the year.
It's certainly possible they envisioned things playing out differently with their running back group. But as we discussed, Pacheco's emergence, Hunt's return, and the roster limitations all contributed to this outcome.
It's hard to see how he fit in given all those moving parts.
There just wasn't a clear path for him.
Any early thoughts on where he might end up? Any teams that stand out as potential fits?
The Lions are still a possibility. They still need help at running back, and a new coaching staff could provide a fresh start. But it's also worth considering other teams that have running back needs.
It's getting late in the season, and some teams might be looking to make a move, especially if they're dealing with injuries or just not getting the production they hoped for.
Teams are always looking for an edge, and that often leads to roster adjustments as the season progresses.
He's definitely got the talent to contribute.
And the experience he gained playing in a high-powered offense like Kansas City's could be valuable to another team.
Absolutely. That's a great environment to learn and develop.
It'll be interesting to see where he lands and if he can capitalize on this opportunity to restart his career.
It's a reminder that NFL careers can take unexpected turns.
From a first-round pick to navigating free agency.
Edwards-Helaire's story is a perfect example of that.
It's been a journey filled with both promise and challenges. And now he's about to embark on a new chapter.
This whole situation just goes to show you how unpredictable the NFL can be.
Careers can take some unexpected twists and turns. You just never know what's going to happen.
Edwards-Helaire's time in Kansas City is a prime example of that.
From being a highly touted first-round pick to now looking for a new team, it's a reminder that things can change really quickly in this league.
It also begs the question, what does draft position really mean in the grand scheme of things?
How much weight does it really carry in the long run when you've got factors like performance, injuries, and team needs all playing a role?
Edwards-Helaire's journey, although shorter than anticipated, highlights just how quickly things can change. Opportunities can be fleeting in professional football.
Every game, every snap counts.
You have to make the most of it. It doesn't matter where you were drafted, careers can take those unexpected detours.
It's a constant reminder that you have to be adaptable.
While his time with the Chiefs has come to an end, there's still a whole new chapter waiting to be written.
It'll be interesting to see where he ends up and what he does next.
He's still got the talent to make an impact.
Now it's about finding the right fit, finding that opportunity and making the most of it.
This whole situation also makes you think about the running back position in today's NFL.
With so many teams using committees and putting a premium on versatility, what's the future going to look like for running backs?
That's a good question. How do teams strike that balance between having a workhorse back and having guys with specialized skills?
These are some of the questions that will continue to shape the way the game evolves.
The running back position is definitely going through a transformation, and it'll be fascinating to see how it all unfolds.
It's a dynamic position that's constantly adapting to the changes in the game.
As we say goodbye to Clyde Edwards-Helaire's time in Kansas City, we wish him the best.
We're looking forward to seeing what the next chapter of his career holds.
And we'll continue to keep an eye on the running back position as a whole.
It's a position that's full of intrigue and talent, and it's always exciting to see how it develops.
There's always something to watch for in the NFL. It's a league that never stops evolving.
Goodbye, and see you in the next video.